other one since yesterday. So that's what I'm working on today again.
What the? I didn't see her bird. I did not see her bird. I mean, you're still alive, so
Good morning, David. How are you? Good morning, Arnold. Thanks very much, Alan. I'm just waiting for my heat gun to heat up, and then I have two guns heating at the moment. And then I'm gonna show you guys how I do this, because I know a lot of you have been asking me how do I place the gems on the glass. So this is called a heat gun, right? And there are different types of gems. There are these gems without the adhesive to the back of it. Those gems you actually have to put hot glue or whatever type of glue and then stick it down, right? And then there are these gems, right? These gems, let me flip over one. This is called a pressing tool, and it actually grips the diamond for you. I don't know if you guys will see it, but this gem actually comes with a black adhesive, which is actually glue that you can heat up to the back of each gem. So you have to be careful when you're buying the gems, and you have to know which gem is which. Right? Because some gem comes with an adhesive and some gems do. So basically the gems will be adhesive. All you have to do is use a cutting tool, press, and place the gems wherever you want it, and you don't need hot glue for that. But you have to let it heat up to a certain extent and then use it. You know once it's not heated up properly, because once it's not heated up properly, the gems will not stick wherever you put it.
Good, but I just think that for him, I mean, he was just being hurt. For no reason.
So that's how you stick the gems to the base of the box. Right? And everything you stick, you have to go back in and clean up everything you do. Right?
Dito ko alis ko dito ang
Make sure that you have the same amount of gems on each glass. Huh? gems coming straight on in alignment and to the bottom of the glass. So should I use blue or gold? So we are gonna be using gold gems. spending a little time with you guys while I organize my stuff. Jackson. the glass. And one more to go. I still have all these on my table to finish, but some of them have to dry. Even though I brought a roll of this, well, you have to be careful because when I reach in the middle of the roll, this is what I get in. A lot of the gems are burst up, so you have to go in and cut them off at single pieces, which is bullshit because a roll of this is $600, and yet still this is the shippiness you're getting, right? So they roll the damaged part in the middle of the roll. They roll all the damaged one in the middle of the roll, and they put the ones that they want you to see on the outside. And it gave me so mad because when you could just cut off a line and do the roll properly, you have to be going through this. I have to be going through this shit. Which makes my job more harder because now I have to be going in. I have to be going in and cutting the gems one by one. So I have to go in on the gems and make sure that they are good, because you don't want to have gems that are not good on the glass to give anybody. This is the last part of the roll, and I didn't have any problems with the other ones. Thanks very much. I didn't have any problems with the other ones, but just the middle of the roll, which is the last part of the roll, is what I have any problem with. Because apparently they knew that that part was mashed up, and they still choose to put it in the middle of the roll. I have my headphones on too as well to listen to music because Music helps me a lot as well to help me pass the time, because sitting down here for this amount of hours is always so difficult. It's time consuming and my back hurts a lot. I get back pain a lot. Some good rolls. So how is you guys weekend going? I try to wipe the glass clean, like in case my fingers touch the top parts, before I stick any why this feeling sticky? I'm feeling this part in the glass feeling sticky. I don't know why. But I always try to wipe the parts that I touch. Even though the glass is gonna be washed, I still try to wipe the parts that I touch, because the other thing that I notice, if you don't wipe it where you touch, your fingerprint remains under where you put the gem. Yeah, it's possible that happened. So like I said, before I go in and stick the gems, I always try to wipe the glass, because I noticed that you get a lot of fingerprints under where you put the gems. When you look in the glass, you see your fingerprint. So that's another thing that you guys have to be careful about. So you go in and you squeeze gently on it. For these, because of the fact that I'm rolling, I don't rest it here. It's only when I have to stick gems going down or something, then I rest it there. But for these, I don't rest it there unless I'm sticking gems to go down. And don't keep the fan on it, because of the fact that if you do, it's gonna dry the hot glue really fast. Try to push the gems upwards. Don't let it go to the more to the base, because you have to make sure that the client will be able to hold the base properly. So that's the other thing I forgot to tell you guys. My fan is on, but it's not on me. So it's, and how the place is cold as well, the hot glue is gonna dry quickly. Only as a sun when it starts to snow. Only know you love her when you let it go. Only know you leave behind when you feel alone. Only know the road when you're missing home. Only know you love her when you let her go. When you let her go. Even though I go in and I use hot glue, I always go in and use adhesive after. So be sure to do that. I go in once everything is dry. I go in and I use the adhesive. Hi, good morning, Samantha darling. I go in and I apply the E6000 after. I don't use crazy glue because that leaves white spots on the glass. And it goes so fast. Everything is washed after you do this process. Thanks, Wayne. Dwayne is actually one of our Dwayne is one of my supervisors and moderators for my page, guys. So you'll notice that he lets you guys know to go and follow the page if you're not following it. If I miss a question, Dwayne will answer the question. He's actually one of our moderators and one of our supervisors. So the reason why I have chosen to have moderators and supervisors for my page is because sometimes when I am working and showing you guys, I miss the question. So it's easier to have a second hand, whereas so if I miss the question, he will go back and answer the question. Yes, he's very informative about what I do. He's also there to answer your questions and to share the page links. So that is dried, right? Because of the light and the camera, you wouldn't really get the beauty of the glass, but when I take the picture and post it, then you'll probably get a better look at it. But this is how it looks so far, right? Always remember to put back the excess, right, so that you could get it for later, because these stuffs are very expensive and at the end of the day, waste not, want not. Oh lordy, 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 I don't know why I always put on the gun and forget to put on these things. I always put on my heat gun and forget to change the tip before I put on the heat gun. I don't see them in the air. These are little gems that comes with a black adhesive in the back of it, And those are basically to use for the glasses or whatever you decide to stencil or to do whatever pattern. Right? I don't know if you'll be able to see the colors properly. Right? I have like a bunch of different colors of these. You can also put them on your nails, do patterns for your fingernails as well. Let me change the tip on this. Remember that the heat gun, the stencil heat gun is a hot thing, right? So you have to be careful with that. I think that this might be the correct size, you know. I think I need the smaller one. Always be sure to press it somewhere that you're not gonna touch it, huh? Because I got burned from this and I'm telling you, it ain't nice. Any type of burn is not nice.
Bro, I swear.
So come on, let it go. This is a fine tip stencil. This is an acrylic stencil that I used to put glue on because the tip is fine. So what I do, because I ordered one already, but I have to wait for it to come. It's called a needle tip stencil. So I could put the needle here. It's like a normal syringe, needle syringe, and you put it, there's attachment where you can attach it here, and you would be able to run the glue through the back of this. So even though I use hot glue, I have to go back in and use E6000. The reason for that is because hot glue only holds temperament, and it's just to hold up the stuff. Once you plan on using things like these on a regular basis, you have to go in with a stronger adhesive. This is like crazy glue, but it does not let go the white residue, right? It actually dries clear like this. So you notice you're not seeing any glue marks, right? It dries clear. So I still have to go back in and put the clear glue afterwards. But when I'm completely finished with the glass, I leave it overnight, let it to make sure that the hot glue that I use settle, and then I go back in with this and I use the fine tip, and now I have these in different sizes. So you go back in with a little bit of glue and you push in all the creases so that when they're moving around or touching the glass, the gems or anything don't fall out in their hand. So that's something you have to remember when doing gems. If I use the stencil gun, I don't need to go back in and put any type of glue, because that is actually a heat adhesive rather than just like the normal plastic adhesive that actually burns the gem into whatever you're doing. That's why they tell you don't burn it on plain glass, right? So before I put the gems on this glass, right, I don't know if you would be able to see it, but I actually wrap the glass with a clear adhesive, right? So you wrap it with a clear adhesive first, and then you lay the gems onto it. Because if this, you have to leave this on for like 1 second when you put the gems on, and if you go in and you leave that for 1 second on glass, it's gonna break, right? So you have to put the clear adhesive first before you actually do the glasses. So that's the next thing. Yeah. I know when doing this type of business, there's a lot of things that you have to remember. Don't ask me how about this, remember all of it. I basically have a photographic memory, so it's like everything is just like, yeah, I just have real thing in my head a lot, and sometimes I think too much, because you have to learn how to wrap glass, how to do this. And then I have a t-shirt section. Oh, this is one of my stuff from my line though. So this is, I'm sampling this. This is one of my sweater, and it comes with fleece in the bottom, which is like a nice furry piece. right? It's meant for winter and for like how the rain is falling. This is one of my sweaters from my lines, by the way, right? So it will be coming on with the clothing line, and you can see it comes with pants. It comes with pants, right? I have a pillow under me for my back. So that is one of the things that are coming with the clothing line. So this is just plain, but these are the ones that we would be using for whatever pattern you want. So whatever pattern you want printed, we're gonna print it on the sweaters and the pants, right? So I'm sampling this. It feels really good so far. I don't know if you guys can see the fleece. Has a fleece to the bottom of it, and it feels really good. It's comfortable. It's not itchy. It's not causing me to feel too warm and sweat, but it's making me feel warm, like, yeah, cool enough, right? One of the things that I wanted, I put a vest underneath it, but I still wanted to test it with on my regular skin. That's why I didn't put on a t-shirt. I just put on a vest because I want to see if it is scratch, especially when you start to sweat. So I'm gonna put myself in a position to cook in a while, so I would know if when you're sweating, if it itches. So that's the other thing. But I like it so far. It's comfortable. As you can see, it's not picking up lint or anything because I have been doing this for a while, so it's not picking up any lint or anything, and it's really comfy. And it comes in 4XL. It comes up to 4XL. So we're gonna be bringing 5 different colors in this, right? So yeah, and it's gonna be from 4XL down to extra small. So that's it. So I'm gonna continue with my glass because I told you guys when because a lot of you messaged me and said when I'm doing this one you want to see. So like I said, first you spray paint this black and then you use the transparent glitter, right? Because it's transparent, you want to use black because black brings out the color better than if you had used a white or a pink or any other color. So it's like a transparent glitter, and more you move it, the color changes, right? My camera sucks, so it's not doing it any justice. But from me sitting here, I'm seeing purple with green and blue and gold, right? But you actually have to be in the same room with it because I think that because of the light and everything, you don't see it properly. But you have to spray paint this black, let it dry overnight or for 24 hours. Then you have to mush pot it and then put the glitter and let it dry, then wipe off the excess. I use a brush, a paint brush, to wipe off the excess, then go back in with mush pot and do a second coat of glitter, then let that dry and then rub it down with mush pot, right? So that now that I'm touching, none of the glitter would come out in my hand once I'm touching the glass, right? So when that dry, then you're gonna do your gems, then go back, wait until tomorrow as you did this today or probably tonight. Wait until that time because you need to give it like a 5-6 hour window properly, because even though it shows that it's dry on the surface, air pockets gets in this and the glue inside doesn't be completely dry, so when you pull it comes out like a latex, right? So you let this dry for like 3 to 4 hours and then you can go in with the E6000. I do not use crazy glue because it leaves white residue, right? So there is E6000 and there's Gorilla Glue. There's a Pacific Gorilla Glue that made for this that does not let go white residue. Excuse me guys, I don't know why I keep feeling like I need to sneeze. I keep feeling like I need to sneeze. But anyway, you go back in with the E6000 and then you have to let the E6000 dry for 24 hours because it is not like hot glue, it takes longer to dry. Then you leave it and you wash out everything, right? You wash out everything and then you dry down everything, and then you look to box up your product. Be sure to wash your product before you give anybody. Not just because it's COVID, make it a habit. Don't study just because it's COVID, I need to wash it. No. Once you're doing things like these where you're touching up everywhere and all that type of thing, wash your people thing before you send it. And put on the bottom here, I don't block the hole, I just put a label around that has a circle piece that exposes here. So my label comes around and just have a circle piece in the middle that leaves here clear, so they will be able to see in the glass. But the label gives you instruction how to take care of the glass and advises you to wash it first before you use it. Alright, so I was gonna do a pattern in the middle of this, but I find that it's actually pretty just the way it is, so I'm just gonna do I'm studying it to do some gold gems going straight down, which I believe I'm gonna do. Let me change my tip on my gun. Now you have to measure to make sure it's the correct size that you have. Where is there's a little canister. This is meant for you to put your gems in. I don't put too much because I'm not going to use too much. Have manners and say good morning and stop rocking my table for me, please.
Morning, everybody.
Too heavy doors. I try to put back everything in the wrapper because in case any of the gems happen, like somebody bounces it and this happens to come open. Because even though they said it doesn't come open anyhow, I still like to be careful. So the tip is a screw-on tip. You have to make sure that it's screwed on properly. There is a switch to the bottom. Turn it this way that you can see. You put on the switch and then the red light starts to light. Right? To make sure that this is cool, and then you put it back. If it's dirty, you go in with nail polish remover and clean it off because it's glue, so that's how I clean it off. Right, this is the color I'm gonna be using. Right, as I said, it's a gold, but it has a black adhesive to the back of it. What you need to try to do is use your stencil pen and turn around most of the diamonds that you know we're going to use before the machine goes on. Like I said, doing this, you have to have patience. It has to be something you love doing and that you have patience for. Because this is actually time consuming and stuff like that. When you're doing this process, you have to make sure that it's lining up. So that's the reason why I made this, because it actually, I could center the glass and run my gems. There are different sizes of the adhesive gems. You just have to make sure when you're purchasing, you look at the size before you buy. This is a candle adhesive pen. right? And once the edges become dull, you could just take a normal sharpener and sharpen it back. It goes down to a point, and then when it mash up, you just replace it. You do not put heat on this because of the fact that it's like a candle thing to stick. It's gonna melt, so you don't put heat on this. This is just a wrapper. They wrap over it for it to more look like a pencil, but it's actually a candle made product. My big glue gun is not a it's not one with the switch, so I usually turn it off when I'm not using it, because I realize it lets the glue back up in it and it could damage the glue gun itself. And I try to watch the time, the amount of hours I have it on for. So that's why I prefer the one with the switch, because once I'm not using it, I don't need to unplug it. I could just switch it off and leave it there and do what I need to do and then go back to it. This is the glass that I showed you guys that I was working on last night, running the pattern on it. I'm going to show you how to get the glitter off of it and how to seal it in. This is another one, the pair to it, that I'm doing, whereas I did the pattern with the bubble wrap, and then I'm going to show you today how I do the pattern with the mush board. And then after that, it's bye-bye for the day. I would have to focus on my work. I think this should be heated enough. You have to be careful with the points in these, because you need to make sure that it's the correct tip you have. I don't think this one is the correct one. I need to learn the numbering for these two. Remember, it's hot. Just to get enough. Because it's glitter, it's gonna be rougher. You have to be careful, because sometimes your gem drops out. So I only did small gems. I'm not going in with the bigger one because I don't want too many excess. I just wanted a proper liner on the glass, right? Like I said, when you're putting it down, make sure and measure your spot. Make sure and check your spot to make sure that you're lining it up properly. And you need to check how much gems you put on each glass. So just go back in and check. I am accustomed eyeballing this and doing it. So don't do as I do, please. Go ahead and use your measuring tape. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 on this glass. So you need to put 5 on the other glass. And so on the way. Sadly, I know why. The reason why I keep raising up the glass is because I want to make sure that it's lined properly before I go and press it in. I'm crazy, 'cause you don't think I know where you're from. You don't want it too far apart. So inside a song, you say you don't think I know you from. You have to hold it down, hold the feet on it for like a 2 seconds or whatever it is. No, it doesn't burn the gem. It just heats up the adhesive to the back of it so it would be able to stick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, so I have 5 on both glasses. Gonna put this here. Once I'm not using the gun, I turn them off. So you get the same 5 as the one before. So this is all the glasses. And you want your glasses to look identical. What happened is that I'm not using a big brooch for the front line on the top of the glass. So the reason why I use the smaller gem is to line the glass so that the customer will know this is the front of the glass. Right? So that's 2 glasses. I showed you guys how to do so far, which is this one other one to it. There's the base and the flower pattern. This is the base, this is the top. Alright, so those are 3 glasses, the 3 pairs of glasses that is done so far, right? What do you want? Hirapan mo na ba? Awa ko. Like I said, when you finish with your gems and everything, just go back and put it back and stuff. Yes, I drink a lot of water. When you finish with your gems, just go back and put back in everything and stuff. I don't leave anything, especially like these small beaded gems or anything hanging around for too long, because then you'll find that you're bouncing stuff and all of that, and I don't want to be bouncing anything. So what will be gonna, so this is what we're gonna be doing now. I'm gonna show you how to do that. You don't need your stand for that glass unless you're ready to put diamonds or brooch or whatever on it. I use copy paper because it's easier, and it's easier to see your glitter when your glitter falls. It's easier to see the glitter when it falls. Let me just slow down this thing, because I have my headphone in my ears, and even though I'm talking to you guys, I'm listening to music as well. So like I told you guys, once you do your pattern, you do not use the brush and take off the excess, because the glue is not dry, and if you try to take off the excess, you're going to actually spoil your pattern on the glass. Right? Let me bring the camera down lower. So this is the glass. Let me dim the light a bit. So hopefully you guys will be able to see what I'm doing better with the light dimmed a little bit. So I need the light is soothing, because I want you guys to be able to. Let me just use that a little bit. Right, so I'm going to pass good enough. Before I continue, are you guys seeing what I'm doing properly? Because I want you to see what I'm doing properly before I go to the next step. So I'll give you guys a few minutes to answer. Tell me if you're seeing me properly without the light being too bright, or do I need to dim the light a little bit again? Okay, cool. Right, so you go in with a brush. You try to use a soft tip brush. You don't want to have any brush that's too hard, that's gonna damage the glass, right? So you just lightly brush. You can go up and down, you can go sideways, it doesn't matter, it's your choice. So you remember that you will just only maybe seeing just like a big silver blob. You won't really see any pattern on the glass that I made. Right, so if I had go in with the brush and touch the glass before it was dried, I would have damaged the patterns that I was making on the glass. now you can actually see the pattern. Let me get something that is darker, and I hope you could see the pattern. Let me just send this somewhere so you can see the pattern better as I dim the light. Right? It's a hand painted pattern that I did on the glass, both top and to the base of the glass. Right? So now that I did this pattern, right, your excess glitter, because of the fact you're gonna do another glass, you don't throw away your excess glitter. That's the reason of using your paper. I use the white sheets of copy paper because it's easy to see the glitter, especially for a person like me who wears glasses, right? Once I'm at this for too long, I have to put on glasses, right? So you collect your excess glitter and you just set it aside. And now this is something that you put glitter on. So if you leave it like this and the customer touch it, the glitter is gonna come out on the customer hand, and you don't want that. So you go in with your clear adhesive, right? Usually I use Mosh Pot and going in with it, but I'm not gonna do Mosh Pot. I'm just gonna go in with the spray, and you're not deep spraying it, you're light spraying it, right? You need to cover your other, you need to protect your other glasses because you don't want that going on your other glasses. So what I do is that the other glasses I block with cardboard, and I just go in with my clear adhesive, and you're not spraying and holding, you're touching and going, right? You're giving it a quick spray. That is just to seal the glitter in on the glass. You're not doing anything too heavy on the glass. You can use your gloves for this and put on a mask. Because you're gonna have a lot of fumes passing around and whatnot. So the reason of not taking off the tape until you finish everything, do not take off the tape still, let this dry and then take off the tape, right? So when it's dry, you take off the tape and then you can go ahead and leave it as it is or run a pattern on it or whatever it is. The reason I left, don't leave it on the paper for too long because it's gonna stick. You're gonna find it sticking to the base of the paper, so don't leave it on paper too long. But the reason why I didn't put any pattern on this side of the glass is because I'm gonna be putting gems on this side of the glass. So if you know that you're gonna be putting gems, try not to put the glitter. If you want to put the glitter, you can go ahead but seal it in. But I don't find it makes any sense to be wasting glitter when I know I'm going to cover this whole part of the glass. So the front of this glass is going to go in glitter. So far the glass has been sealed. My hand touched it, so I'm going to have to go back in and spray it back. How my hand just touched it. Don't do as I do, because you see I touch it and then like I get smudged. I got smudged. I have to go back now and look for the parts that my hand just touched and make sure that it didn't take off the pattern. Right? Hold it to the edge. I don't know why I forget that, but hold it to the edge, don't ever hold it. So the pattern just came off, as you can see there, a little bit. So don't be afraid. I have excess here. So what I'm gonna do is, where the pattern just came off, you're not dropping too much, you just drop one drop and then you don't want it to smudge, so you're using your finger and giving it light taps. So all you're doing is full. Mistakes happen, guys, and nobody is perfect, so remember that, because I know some of you guys get so frustrated with yourself when mistakes happen. Mistakes do happen when doing these things, so don't be frustrated with yourself. Don't get too frustrated with yourself. Now, you don't want this. You just want to cover up the fingerprint. So move it light. If you notice, I'm tilting the glass, but tilting it light because I want it to cover my fingerprint. So you're just formulating a pattern back into the glass. Just take your time and tilt it light. So you're just moving the pattern around. Because I'm just showing, I didn't do the mistake intentionally, but I'm just showing you that it has happened already to me. So I don't fuss, because at first when things happen, I tend to fuss because I'm a perfectionist. Now, so the excess glue, so the excess paint, you're not gonna rest the napkin in it, you're just gonna put a little piece so it could actually suck the excess paint. See that? Right, so you're not gonna dip the napkin in like that. The reason of sucking the excess paint is because if you layer it down, it's gonna run and you don't want it to run. So hold it here, and you're gonna hold your glass from the base to here and turn your fan on it. So the fan is gonna dry the pattern while you're holding it, or you could rest it on your stand, right? I don't suggest you rest it on your stand until you're sure that the adhesive that you just sprayed is dry. So I'm just gonna hold this for a few seconds. You're not gonna hold it until the entire glass dryer. You're just gonna hold it so that the paint that you just put in place dries. So I'm just gonna hold it in front of the fan for a few minutes. I also glue. Like I said, mistakes happen, guys, and sometimes things happen. You don't have to stress about it and stress yourself out. Just find a way to fix your mistake quickly and whatever it is. But mistakes do happen when you're doing this sort of thing. Right, so that is dry a lot more, right? So then you just go ahead, and if you find that you need to go back in to take off any excess, you just do the same method as before. And that's it. Mistakes gone. So nothing is ever too perfect when doing stuff, right? Mistakes do happen, and all you have to do is use your head and cover up your mistakes, right? So now, where I put the paint. Now don't go and throw a whole lot, right? So you do this with your finger. Right? So you mistake, gone. Your mistake, gone. Right. So this is gonna dry and whatever it is. So where you remember if my finger touches, so I just need to see that part back where that glitter is gonna come out. And that's done with. So I'm gonna set this aside and let it dry. So I set that aside and that's gonna dry. And now I'm gonna show you how I do the pattern. Just let me. Nikolai was doing some stuff this morning and he didn't even wash out his clothing. You didn't see one? Let me just wash all this stuff. This is the reason why I say to wash out your dish after you use washcloth, because once you go to clean it, it don't come out. And Nicola used it this morning and washed. He didn't even wash it out. So the washcloth stopped. So I'm gonna show you how to do this pattern. Now if you're doing it, you don't have the pan on the glass. You can have it on you but not on the glass. Always shake your washcloth before you use it. So I'm gonna show you how I did that pattern, how I got the pattern in glass. I cut bubble wrap and I use glue. So you spread the glue onto the bubble wrap and then you press it onto the glass. So you get your pattern. When you get your pattern, then you're gonna go in with Mod Podge and do it so that you can get this. Right? So it looks like a pattern of vines that is running on the glass. remember, it's just a simple pattern you're doing, so you don't need an excessive amount of mushboard to do your pattern. Make sure that your brush is clean. So one thing I forgot to tell you about this glass, right? Remember this one we did just now? So the one thing I forgot to tell you about this, even though you stick your gem and you go back in with the glue, you still have to spray the clear adhesive on it, because if you don't, once they start washing the glasses regularly, the color is gonna change after a while, because remember, this is not real gold, right? So the clear adhesive, which is these, right, it's a sealer. So even though you go back in with your second coat of glue for everything, you have to go and spray it down. Spray the gems, everything. It's a clear adhesive, so it actually dries clear. It would not stain the glass, right? So each one that we did today, we're going and seal them in with clear adhesive, right? So these are the glasses we have so far, right? These are the ones we have so far, and this will be the last glass that I'm going to show you how to wrap this one, but we're going to work on this one for now. So you see where they have like a lot of missed patterns, it's where you're gonna do your pattern with your glass. But you can do your pattern however you want. I try to do like a vine-like motion with the glasses, right? So it looks like the vines are running into the other part. You need to put a generous amount of glue on your brush. You don't put your glue until you're finished with your pattern. Please don't forget that. If you're not accustomed, please don't try to go as fast as I do. Remember that I'm accustomed doing this. Kadisha Williams, you asked me if I'm an art major. No, sweetheart, I'm not an art major. I just have my degree from interior design. I'm not an art major. I took art class, yes, but after a while I dropped out of it. It was not my thing. And so there was someone, I can't remember her name on point right now, but she asked me, did I ever donate work to the museum, the art museum? Yes, I did. A couple of years ago. Yes, I did. It was on display for almost 2 years. Try to do as much as you can do and as fast as you can do it, because mushboard is something that dries quickly as well. So try to do it. What I do is I don't cover up all the white lines, but I try to use the white lines to run into the silver. Some of the white lines I try to use it to run into silver. Now you wouldn't be able to see me decorate that one until it's dry, so we wouldn't be able to decorate these today because these have to actually dry. Enjoy being hurt. I know you smell the perfume, the makeup on your shirt. You don't believe the stories, you know that they're all lies. Bad as you are, you stick around, and I just don't know why. Baby, what I do back to you, moving you right, deserve good things. I just wanna show you why you should let me love you. You want and me, baby, good love and perfection. Show you the way love's supposed to be. It's a shame you don't know what you're worth. Better than truth. Baby, you know. I'll be coming home back to you. Is it really right? Is there everything? Can't believe. Ooh, don't fall, don't fall. Now remember that all the patterns on the glasses wouldn't be the same. You don't want it to be the same, huh? But you want it to look in a certain way that it match. So it goes with the same theme. But remember, this is a freestyle pattern, so it wouldn't be identical because it's not like you have a tool that you're using to stamp this. Remember, this is hand painted creativity. Right, so I believe I went in on all the tasks that I need to so far. Let me just run one more pattern line. I'm gonna check my answering machine. And I go down low. Looking to the phone. It's ridiculous. I'm losing my things. I hate that. Should know you. is our anniversary. That's the reason I'm so sick of losing. So you should with you. I'm getting over you. Leave me alone. I tell you no, when I'm done, I'm gonna need a whole new back here. Please don't touch. Keep together so sad. It's no limits on the check. You got me twisted. Right, so that is the part of before you taxi me. So that is part of doing the mush pot on the glass. So now my favorite part, it's the glitter. It's putting that glitter. This is my favorite part. I love to play with glitter. So all you're simply doing is rolling the glass. Like I said, do not, and I repeat, do not attempt to dust off the glitter right away. Give it a few hours to dry. Because if you go and try to take the glitter off right away, you're gonna mess up all your lovelies, your lovely pattern you just work so hard to create, and you don't want that. So what I do is I just leave it, let it sit for a while, and then I come back in. I like to go in with my glitter because I just want to make sure all the part that has glue gets glitter. So that's why you see me pouring it on the glass for a second time. Perfection is key, man. Gotta do that perfection work. Perfection is key. Glitter is messy work. Don't knock your glass, but don't knock your glass hard to break your glass. You just tap in the top of the bottom of the glass like this, right? And all you do is just leave it there, man. You just set it aside, let that shit dry. When it's dry, then you go in with your paper and your paintbrush and you just get your excess glitter, and then when you finish, you go in and you spray paint with your adhesive. Once you get the glitter off, you collect back all the excess glitter and whatever. Just push back my chair. I'm just gonna clean off this and I'll be back. This is what I do. I'm just kidding, huh? No, I don't do that actually. I'm just kidding. I use my big brush. I just go in with my big brush. And you collect all that you could collect. What I do is when I'm finished all the glasses and do everything, then I go back in and pack up everything and then clean my table down. So that's it. So that is how I got my pattern on my glass. Right? So that's it. So we're gonna be doing the other glass now. Right? This is the red one. I'm gonna use a smaller brush, which is a smaller base brush, and I'm gonna show you. This is how you get the excess pattern of. So this is to get the glitter off the pattern that you did. You can use your finger too, but take your time not to rub it off of the other parts. Like I said, doing glitter is a job and a task because of the fact that you're gonna have glitter all over, right? I don't put this glitter back in anything because this glitter has cross contamination because of the fact that the blue was on it. The red, sorry. glitter is on this, so I don't go back in and lay the glitter all over, right? So remember that you have to do a second coat on this, which is Mosh Pod. So the purpose of this small brush is so you can come as close as you can to the lines. So all where you see that still needs glitter, you go in with the brush and you rub. Right, because each glass, once you're doing these types of things, that is not a full shape pattern where the base of the glass is sprayed. You'll have to go in with 2 coats of glitter for this type of thing. Try to spread the mush but as thin as you can, because you don't want to have glue that is too thick on your glass. So don't try to put too much glue on the glass. Like I told you guys, doing these things is basically patient work, because these things take up a lot of time to have done. I know a lot of you requested videos of me doing my work, so that's the reason why I'm doing these videos with you guys today, because a lot of you have been asking me, how do I get the glitter, how do you get the pattern, you know. So because of you is why I make these videos, because usually I just I'm either watching a movie on the tablet while I work, or I'm speaking, I'm in conference calls or Zoom class or whatever the case may be. I think I transfer former blow, Nikolai, because I heard that noise and then I heard everything cut off. The TV and everything cut off just now. Nikolai?
Yep.
The TV and whatnot cut off just now. Because the light and everything cut off outside. And then I heard a noise. What, your master cord or something?
Yeah.
Because I know usually when rain fall and rain is falling too much, we actually do get power outage. That's the reason why I have a backup light, so that way I could continue my work if we happen to get a power outage. But I want to get a generator, because when I'm operating the bigger machines, I don't want to have to, you know, when power outage come and everything shut down, and then you can't get nothing done for the day. That's the reason why when customers give me orders, you know, when they place orders, I go in and I do the orders way before the time, you know, I give them my estimate time and I start the orders way before time, so that to make sure I deliver on time, because I'm telling all your mishaps happen. A lot of stuff happen. And these are things when dealing with business you have to be careful of. But trust me, a lot of mishap happens when you're running a business. Either the carrier not on time, or something happened home and you have to put a delay on what you were supposed to do for the customer and all of that. Because at the end of the day, we are humans, and when you're running a business, other stuff tends to happen as well. And I tell them earlier, prepare yourself, because there are customers who want to speak to you how they want. Some of them do have patience. So when always going into business, trust me, prepare yourself for a lot of things, because sometimes you really want to tell a customer to fuck off because of their attitude, but you know, you want your business and you want to make that bread. So there are a lot of people who will tend to disrespect you because they know that, you know, you're relying on them to make that bread, you know. So that's the thing that you guys have to deal with and be prepared for. Because even though I have a business and stuff, I still get disrespected by people. I still get disrespected by people. And sometimes I find that I have to, you know, swallow my pride and just bite my tongue. Even though I want to use can I use a bad word? Can I use a bad word? Even though I want to use a bad word, I still have to bite my tongue, even though I want to use a bad word. Even though, yes, sometimes in business you want to use that bad word, sometimes you have to bite your tongue and not use the bad word. Because I tell you, there are people who does some type of thing that you have to ask yourself, what were you thinking? Seriously? What? You ever watch somebody and ask yourself that? What the were you thinking? How the hell you could do something like that? What in the world will possess you to do something like that? I'm telling you, there are lots of people in this world who does a lot of questionable shit that makes you ask yourself, like, you serious? Were you born on another planet? I have those moments of dealing with people. I have to be asking myself, like, this person's serious. Was they born on a different planet? Because, like, what the hell would possess you to do something like that? So yeah, I have my what the moments a lot when dealing with people, and I mean a lot. Which is I find strange, because like, you're not supposed to have a lot of what the moments. Like, really? Are you this dumb? A lot of times dealing with people, I be like, what the? Are you actually that dumb? Like, seriously? Right, so we did our second coat on this glass, and we're gonna just let it dry, and then when it dry, we're gonna brush off the excess, and then after I'm not doing much pattern on this glass because it's just gonna be a red brooch to the bottom of that, and that's it. And then you're gonna pull off your tape, brush off, and then you're gonna spray with your clear adhesive, and that's it. Right, so I'm just setting this back aside. That's kind of messy around. Gonna clean up all this glitter. tumblers and stuff that have to come in here. So now self being glitter city. That glass, I'm gonna use vinyl on that glass, so I'm not gonna use a pattern. I'm not gonna be using any brooches on that because that is just gonna go in a pattern. Right? I have to make another one of that because of the fact that you notice every time I think I throw away the paper, right? I'm not gonna be using brooch on that because I'm gonna do a vinyl pattern and I have to make a second one of that. But for some reason I really do love that glass. I feel I will be making one of that for myself for Mother's Day. Y'all don't see me sipping some non-alcoholic wine with a little bougie attitude, you know. I don't know what I'm gonna name the glass yet. I'm watching this thing called there's this show called Money Girls. I'm watching that and it has some really lovely quotes in it, so I might take a quote from one of those movies. I might take a quote from one of those movies and put it on the glass. I might take a quote from one of that movie and put it on the glass, or I'm gonna do this. I saw this TikTok with something baby girl. Something he said and it says baby girl. So I think it's either a TikTok quote or something I'm gonna do with that. So we're finished those and we're letting those dry and sit. So now we're on to this one, and like I told you guys, these are the last set that I will be doing with you, and after that I have some phone calls to make, so these will be the last sets. And what is the time? Just now I have to take a shower again. I just tried to schedule my showers, and I did a lot too because how I have eczema and it pain and all these things, your skin tends to get itchy a lot. So remember what I said about pulling off tape, you always pull up, right? So you're pressing down with your finger and you're pulling up, down, pulling up, down, right? Pulling up, pressing down, pulling up, pressing down. Don't go too fast, use your finger so that you wouldn't get tears in your paint. Right. Now don't forget what I told you guys. Before you do each glass, wipe the top of your mouth off so that you don't get fingerprints or any types of stuff. Wipe the top of your mouth. Right? Just pass a little thing on the glass and make sure that the glass is clean before you go glittering. The reason why I use white paper all the time is because I find it easier if you can see any little lint or any little thing that drops on the white paper, rather than if you use anything else, it's harder to see. So I'm gonna put this. Nikolai, could you just wash out this for me, please? Because I'm done with that. I don't want to leave it there and then it's... I don't know, something shook me my finger just now. I have to go back in and see it. Right, so this is what we're gonna do. And this glass, we're gonna use blue. We're gonna be using blue for this glass.
I'm checking out my gems collection. So give me a second. Give me a second. I'm checking out my gem collection. So I'm trying to figure out which ones I want to put on the glass.
So we have these in the blue, but I am more thinking of a flower type or just some diamonds. Oh, the bad boys of course. Nikolai, Joshua, Don, Charles, Abdul. What's up with you, boy? Yeah, boy. Okay, so I'm studying to do 3 alignments.
What's that?
Did you wash all that from up please and bring it back? So I think I'm gonna do 3 alignments each on the glass. I really don't know. I just have a lot of stuff going on in my head, so I don't know. I think that my head literally just put things in place, in perspective for me. So yeah, that's just we're gonna be doing the blue bling wrap, more like a turquoise, because by the way, turquoise is my favorite color. So we're gonna be taking turquoise, right? So we're gonna be doing turquoise. Hi Marcus, how are you? Right, so we're gonna be doing turquoise bling wrap for our white glasses. This is one of the reasons why I told you I prefer the bling wrap to be whole, because when it's just whole, I can just like cut my pattern and leave it there, and when I'm ready to wrap, just wrap it. That's it. That's it. Cut and wrap. But when you see the pattern like half burst up ones and stuff, you have to be, oh gosh, man. I don't like it. I don't like it. It is upset me. Young man, what you doing? What you doing? Nikolai,
Yeah.
try and put on clothes for me, please. Because you're with that asthma, and then all that rain falling, and then you're going to come to want to lie down on me to sleep tonight because you're feeling cold or you can't breathe properly or something. Try and put on some clothes for me, please. I know you just want to stay by your back and thing, but put on clothes. It's better cold. If you're feeling hot, sit down in front of the chicken seed. Let me figure out. I think that I might have to use 2 by 2 because I wanted to use 3 going straight down, but I don't think I have 3. I don't have 6 in that flower. I don't. I actually checked through the containers because sometimes one might fall into something. Okay, so I think that my glue gun. Oh, it's hurt. It's hurt. It's hurt. I know. Just clean it up. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna be wrapping this. Now my hands shake because this is pressure. You gotta be applying pressure to this gun. Ugh. So my hand shakes like an old person now. Because this gun, I don't know why, but I find that it's more hard. It's actually harder to squeeze down than the smaller one. Compression. And that's a little more. Don't worry about the little excess glue that I call it spider webs. The little spider web thingy that actually comes out. Make sure that you get the gems level on the glass, because yes, customers could tell if it warped. So try to get it level. Because customers could tell if it's not straight or not. That's the reason why I measure, and then I use the tape to measure the lines, because if it's not level like this, customers could tell if it's not lining up. I don't know, like they have foresight for that. They actually like probably just put the glass side by side and see if it lining up or some shit or whatever. I don't know. I'm starting to do based on top, but I don't know. I think it was on top. I did a liner. Try and figure out your liner, because I did my liner. I did a liner, so I'd know how to line my gems. That's why you saw me wrap it from the opposite direction. And like I told you, even though I do this, I still go in with the adhesive on the glass. Just hold the gem, the big gems or brooch or whatever you're putting for a little while, because if you don't, it could slide right off, because it takes the glue like a few seconds to whatever. Right? Just gonna let this dry for a few seconds. Doesn't matter if you get like a little excess glue to the bottom of it. If you do get that, you can just go back and take it off after when it dries. But focus on your pattern that you're making. Focus on your pattern. That's a basic thing. Your pattern. So like I said, I'm not going to use 3 because I don't have 6. I'm just going to use 2, and I'm going to line. You can clean up your glass after you're done stick everything. I would have preferred to have 3 in this, but I don't have 3. I only have 5. So that's why I'm spacing them far apart, not too close. Nothing tastes better than this. Nothing tastes better than this. I'm sorry, I can't face the glass towards you guys, because if I do, then you wouldn't be able to see what, then I wouldn't be able to see what I'm doing. I'm sorry, y'all. Nothing tastes better than this. Don't move now. Gosh, these spider webs tripping. Come on, baby. Stick there. See how fast this glue is dry? Now remember, this is spray painter, so take your time and pull it off. Like if you have like a little excess glue, like how that dry just now, take your time and pull it off. Don't pull it off too fast. So kind of do like a press and pull. Don't pull it out too fast, because you could actually raise up the paint and you don't want the paint raising up. Like I said, don't worry about cleanup when you finish everything. Then you go back in and you clean up all the excess glue or any little thing that you have. That is something you could do afterwards. Once you're done stick and everything dry, once everything stick down properly and it dry, you go ahead and you clean up the excess. So this is our glass so far. Right, anything that I need to clean off or thread or any type of thing from the liner that I need to clean off. So this is the back, this is the front of the glass. So this is the glass so far. So let's get the next one done. I'm not putting anything else on the base. I was going to go in like to the little spacing and do gems, but I'm not gonna do all of that. I don't like to put too much on a glass. Don't put too much of glue because at the end of the day it just dries really quickly. So like I said, don't worry about the cleanup. When you are finished, then you go back in and you can pull off whatever. All the little spider webs or excess glue or anything like that, you can go back in and pull off those things after. I think that I should put more glue on this. I just want to put a little bit more because I want to make sure that the base sticks properly. I can do it. Let me just put this glue stick now. So remember I said that because of the weight of the gem, you have to hold it down for a few seconds. So if you're following so far, we're gonna mimic the same pattern as I did this one, right, on the other glass, because remember it's a pair. And sometimes when clients request the glass, they actually request like different colors. So sometimes they might want a blue brooch and a pink brooch, or a blue and a red brooch. Most times the request I get is for blue and pink brooch. So even though your gems is one color, they always request different type brooch because they want to be able to tell the glass apart. Right, so like I said, when you finish, you clean off your excess when you finish. So this is where we reached so far, right? Remember, we don't have 6, so we're only sticking 2 onto the glass. And make sure when you stick it directly under the first brooch. You have to press it down for a few seconds for it to hold. This is a smaller brooch and a lighter one, so you don't have to hold it down as much as you would have to hold on the bigger one. Make sure you angle your flowers properly. So as you can see, it's in alignment under the brooch. So I'm gonna do the base. Like I told you, don't put too much. The reason why I actually use these types of bling wrap is because it has a threading back, not a twine back. So remember that when you're buying your gems, your bling wrap, look at the wrap and or go to the description and check out the description as to what material the gems is made from. Because when it has the twine back, it is harder to maneuver if you have to do a pattern that has to go over the glass, like how I'm doing here. You have to do a pattern like this, it's gonna be harder to go. Stop moving. Sorry about that. It's gonna be a lot harder for the pattern to maneuver if you have to do a pattern like this. Have to let this dry. Right, so you have a pair of these. Right, so that's it for my video, guys. I have some phone calls that I have to make, so I'm gonna put away my stuff, and I don't think I have anything else to do with glasses until later on, because I need everything to be dried before I go to prime or to do anything. So that's it for today. Thanks for spending your time with me. As I said, never make life make you better, always make life make you better. And be kind to others. What you don't like for yourself, don't do to other people. Can't touch my mouth. Have an amazing day, guys. Stay dry, stay safe. Please follow your country's restrictions, requirement, because we are all in this together. Bye, guys.